Hello, kids. Big book breakdown. And I got out my big book with the big writing to do big book breakdown. We're going to read the doctor's opinion. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to read a paragraph and talk about it. Okay? And then we'll see how far we get. I don't want to make this too long because I'll lose your attention. The doctor's opinion. Very important chapter. Roman numeral 25. XXV. I'm going to read that. Sorry. Breathing hard. We of Alcoholics Anonymous believe that the reader will be interested in the medical estimate of the plan of recovery described in this book. Convincing testimony must surely come from medical men who have experience with the sufferings of our members and have witnessed our return to health. A well-known doctor, chief physician at a nationally prominent hospital specialized in alcoholic and drug addiction, gave Alcoholics Anonymous this letter. So it's saying, we think that you might be really interested in hearing what doctors have to say about this illness. And so we have included a letter from a doctor from a renowned hospital dealing with alcoholics. Now, in 1930s and prior, they didn't know what to do with us. They literally were like locking us up. They just didn't know what to do. Some, in the past they were doing like lobotomies and stuff on us. They just didn't know what was wrong with us. We were crazy people, very sick and very destructive. So this doctor was working with a lot of them. And he happens to be the doctor, Dr. Silkworth, who was in the hospital where Bill went. Bill went there 3 different times. And Dr. Silkworth worked with him. So he wrote this letter. To whom it may concern, I have specialized in the treatment of alcoholism for many years. In late 1934, I attended a patient, Bill W., though he had... In late 1934, I attended a patient who, though he had been a competent businessman of good earning capacity, was an alcoholic of a type I had come to regard as hopeless. Underline hopeless. In the course of his 3rd treatment, he acquired certain ideas concerning a possible means of recovery. So the 3rd time he went there, he got some ideas about how to recover from this. And part of his rehabilitation, he commenced to present his conceptions to the other alcoholics in the hospital, impressing upon them that they must do likewise with still other people. So I'm going to help you guys, but you guys got to help other people. This has become the basis of a rapidly growing fellowship of these men and their families. Alcoholics Anonymous. This man and over 100 others appear to have recovered. I personally know scores of cases who were the type with whom other methods had failed completely. These facts appear to be of extreme medical importance because of the extraordinary possibilities of a rapid growth inherent in this group. They may mark a new epoch in the annals of alcoholism. These men may well have a remedy for thousands of such situations. You may rely absolutely on anything they say about themselves. Very truly yours, William D. Silkworth, M.D. So that was a pretty big deal. The Bill started trying to help people, and he got a doctor on board with it. The doctor saw what was happening to Bill, and he couldn't deny it. Bill was having more luck helping people recover than Dr. Silkworth did. Okay? Now this talks a little bit about this physician. The physician who at our request gave us this letter has been kind enough to enlarge upon his views in another statement which follows. So then he got so jazzed about what Bill was doing, he wrote another letter. In this statement, he confirms that we who have suffered alcoholic torture must believe that the body of the alcoholic is quite as abnormal as his mind. Abnormal mind and body. It did not satisfy us to be told that we could not control our drinking just because we were maladjusted to life, that we were in full flight from reality, or were outright mental defectives. These things were true to some extent, in fact, to a considerable extent with some of us, but we were sure that our bodies were sickened as well. In our belief, any picture of the alcoholic which leaves out the physical factor is incomplete. The doctor's theory that we have an allergy to alcohol interests us. As laymen, our opinion as to its soundness may, of course, mean little. But as ex-problem drinkers, we can say that his explanation makes good sense. It explains many things for which we cannot otherwise account. Though we work out our solution on the spiritual as well as an altruistic plane, so this work is spiritual as well as altruistic, which means we help, but it's not our job to help, right? Service. We favor hospitalizations for the alcoholic who is jittery or befogged. More often than not, is it imperative that a man's brain be cleared before he is approached, as he has then better chance of understanding and accepting what we have to offer. So what he's saying is that if you're really drunk and you're trying to sober up and you're in that jittery, that shit, you feel like shit, that's not the time to talk to somebody about life-changing ideas. Wait till they get better. Wait till they settle down a little, right? Let them get through detox before you take them through the steps. I think that's what it means. The doctor writes, so here's the doctor's second writing about this. The subject presented in this book seems to me of paramount importance to those afflicted with the alcoholic addiction. I say this after many years' experience as medical director of one of the oldest hospitals in the country treating alcohol and drug addiction. There was therefore a sense of real satisfaction when I was asked to contribute a few words on a subject which is covered in such masterly detail in these pages. We doctors have realized for some time that some form of moral psychology was of urgent importance to alcoholics, but its application presented difficulties beyond our conception. With our ultra-modern standards, our scientific approach to everything, we are perhaps not well equipped to apply the powers of good that lie outside our synthetic knowledge. Many years ago, one of the leading contributors to this book, Bill Wilson, came under our care at this hospital, and while here he acquired some ideas which he put into practical application at once. Later, he requested the privilege of being allowed to tell his story to other patients here, and with some misgiving, we consented. The cases we have followed through have been most interesting. In fact, many of them are amazing. The unselfishness of these men as we have come to know them, the entire absence of profit motive, and their community spirit is indeed inspiring to one who has labored long and wearily in this alcoholic field. So he's saying, like, oh my God, I've tried so hard at this to help alcoholics. And here's this guy. And the guys he's helping have this cheery attitude, and they're so giving, and they're so wonderful, and they have this camaraderie. And it's refreshing because I'm beat. I think that's what he's saying there. They believe in themselves, and still more, in the power which pulls chronic alcoholics back from the gates of death. Okay, so power there is capitalized. Now, I'm going to tell you that every time, this book was written to help you find a power greater than yourself. So to do that, people say, oh, it talks about God. Well, Bill refers to God or a higher power many times in this book. And the way you know he's referring to him is he capitalizes the word.